What's up, everybody? And today we're checking out Desert Storm, the Ground War Day 1 Crush, the Saddam line, animated by the Operation Room. We watched part 1 of Desert Storm Air Assault the other week, and it was really good. I really enjoyed it. I think the Operation Room is an absolutely fantastic channel. It gives a really good depiction on top-down warfare and what's going on. So I'm really excited to watch this. A lot of people said you really should watch the Ground War, especially considering, you know, I'm a former Royal Marines commander. It's my bread and butter, innit? Ground War. So, yeah, let's watch it. Let's have some fun. I will leave a link down below to the OG video. Excuse me. They're at 1.39 million subscribers. Let's get them to 1.5 million by the end of the year. I know all the people that watch these are really good at helping other creators out. So please go over there, give them some love, and give them some subscribers. Other than that, is that all good? No, I'm going to do sponsors. Check out Chug. 10% off, link down below. Hey, Christmas is here. It's November. It's practically Christmas. If you're going to big Tesco's down the road, all the Christmas decorations are out already. Christmas is time. Listen, Mariah Carey, she's thawing out. It's time to get your gifts. If you've got a loved one, or if you want to treat yourself, get yourself a Chug. 10% off, link down below. Look. Here's version 2. This is version 1. Version 2, you can do it. It's good, but you struggle to get a full fist in there. And also, when you're washing it, you've got to be careful of your wood not to damage your wood. But with version 3, you can get your full fist in there. 4 whole fingers can get in it. And you can take the metal bit out, put this in the dishwasher to protect your wood. Free customization, free bag. 10% off, link down below. It comes in all different colours. Look, you've got this type of wood, this type of wood, this type of wood, different coloured handles. You've got all the woods. Fists of wood. All right? Check it out. Also, if you haven't seen, I released a drink. Can you believe it? I actually did this. I still look at it sometimes, and it blows my mind that I actually managed to release a drink. I don't even know where to start. 2 years ago, I was like, releasing a drink? How do you even release a drink? What do you even do? Then we had to get the actual recipe, figure it out, make sure it tasted good, make sure it had all the stuff we wanted in it, make sure it was all organic and everything was all fantastic ingredients. Then we had to do the branding. Then we had to do the label. Then we had to get samples of the can. These are all the samples of the cans up here. You see them up here? They're all the different renditions we went through. Then we had to get them filled. Then we had to start a website and a social media. And then turns out, when you make a social media about the outdoors, you fall in love with doing it. Because I love the outdoors. And I love working online. I love doing social media. That's why I'm a YouTuber. And then all of a sudden, the two worlds that you have collide. This YouTubing thing that I've been doing and this outdoorsy thing I've been doing come together. An amalgamation of happiness. And then I make content that really brings me happiness. I put a vlog out a couple of weeks ago. In fact, if you go to the subscribe button down below, if you click subscribe, it'll come up with both channels, Drink Morale and Original Human. Go over to the Drink Morale YouTube channel, give it a subscribe, check out the podcast and the vlog I've been doing over there. There'll be a new vlog up this week. It's going to be really cool. It's me going visiting Lud's church. Let me show you this shit. It is so beautiful. And I've got such a good message being a part of it. It's this weird like canyon in England. It's absolutely stunning. And last week or the week before, I did a video on the Tolkien Trail, a trail where J.R.R. Tolkien walked down and got the inspiration for the Shire. I've really tried to work on my cinematography and all my editing and stuff like that, because these videos don't take any editing. But then that other one, I had to do the color grading, I had to do all this stuff. I worked really hard. So show me some love. If you're in the UK, go buy some drinks on the website right here. Go over to the Instagram, check out the reels. If not, go to the Drink Morale YouTube channel and give it a subscribe. There's less than 1,500 subscribers on there. So if you want to be part of the movement in this early doors, is it 1,500? I think it's close around that time, around that amount. But if you want to be part of the early doors, if you want to get involved with the community, do it. Now I'm going to shut up. It's been like half an hour. Been waffling on for half an hour, Anna. All right, let's pull this up. Turn subbies on. Let's watch this. Love the Operation Room. Actually, before we... People are going to be like, oh my God, Luke, shut the fuck up. I want to play some strategic games, military games. I'm thinking Total War. I'm thinking Door Kickers 2. Top down, military tactics, talking about how it... Oh, what was that top down World War II game called? Oh, I want to get into the tactics with you guys. You know what I mean? Be sick.
Late on the 23rd of February 1991, 10 Special Forces reconnaissance teams of the US 3rd and 5th Special Forces Groups crossed the border into Iraq by helicopter. They are to join Green Beret, Delta Force and British SAS operatives already in Iraq. In just a few hours' time, the ground invasion to liberate Kuwait will begin.
Obviously, they haven't got where the SAS were or the other US Special Forces on the map. And I only see one British flag down here at the bottom, so it does make me wonder how many. We've got French over here. It does make me wonder how many lads were involved from other countries.
And these
obviously, it was
invisible
mostly
eyes in the
US.
desert will report on Iraqi division movements. Operation Desert Storm has been ongoing for 5 weeks. A 35-nation-strong coalition formed as a response to the Iraqi invasion of Kuwait has been engaged in a massive bombing campaign against Saddam Hussein's Iraq. With an average of 2,500 bombing sorties per day, the command and control structures and logistics lines to
Getting the
Saddam's army in the
rounds
east
down.
have been severely degraded. More recently, the bombing has shifted towards Iraqi troops themselves, aiming to soften them up and weaken their resolve to fight, such as...
So yeah, we saw that in the previous video, how the bombing runs really went for all this, and so they could get air dominance, and then they started softening up the military quite a bit. If you haven't watched that video, go watch it. Absolutely phenomenal.
...superior enemy. Coalition Navy ships have also blasted Iraqi positions near the Kuwaiti coast with naval gunfire. President George H.W. Bush issues a final ultimatum to Saddam Hussein. Leave Kuwait by 8 PM on the 23rd of February, or face a ground invasion.
Yeah.
Like the ultimatum preceding the air campaign, this is no bluff.
Imagine sitting there waiting, knowing that you're going to go into this invasion. Imagine the blood pumping through your veins. We're going to go in. Oh my days. Absolutely insanity, wouldn't it? That feeling.
And G-Day, the beginning of the ground invasion, is scheduled to begin at 4 AM on the 24th. General Norman Schwarzkopf, Commander-in-Chief of Coalition Forces, arrives at Central Command in Riyadh. Coalition forces are split into 5 corps along the front line. On the west flank, 18 Airborne Corps, made up of 4 divisions.
I wonder if this is exactly where they were located, because if it is, Operation Room, well done. Like, showing it like this is insane, isn't it?
The French Daguet, a light armoured division of tanks, recon and armoured infantry, including 2 regiments of the prestigious and recently battle-experienced French Foreign Legion. The infamous US 82nd and 101st Airborne Divisions. The 82nd will support the French Daguet as motorised infantry. The 16,000 paratroopers of the 101st will ride into battle with 350 helicopters.
My God.
The 24th Infantry Division and 3rd Armoured
Just look at how many tanks are there, or vehicles, in one division.
Cavalry Regiment, bringing a combined 333 Bradley infantry fighting vehicles and 333 Abrams main battle tanks.
Them Bradleys are sick as well.
2 formations bring an armoured capability to 18 Corps. 7 Corps, in the centre, are the heavy armoured fist of the coalition. The US 1st and 3rd Armoured Divisions and the British 1st Armoured Division are the centrepiece of the battering ram, using Abrams and Challenger tanks.
Yes.
Supplementing the 3 Armoured Divisions are the US 1st Cavalry and 1st Infantry Divisions, and the 2nd...
What an awesome name, 1st Cavalry. Oh, mate, get out your horse. Do you know what I mean? Sounds sick.
An Armoured Cavalry Regiment.
The
with further
Armoured
Abrams
Cavalry.
and Bradleys, helicopter, engineering and artillery support. 1st Infantry, known as the Big Red One, were the first wave to attack Omaha Beach on D-Day in 1944. 7 Corps will roll across the border.
My God, first in. Both on D-Day and here is insane, isn't it?
With 1,487 main battle tanks, 1,384 infantry fighting vehicles, 242 attack helicopters.
Is that a legit image of it? It's absolutely absurd, isn't it? Just tanks into the distance. Imagine just being on the line like these guys are gonna come our way soon. Jesus Christ.
And 146,000 troops. East of 7 Corps, on the border with Kuwait, is Joint Forces Command North, made up of divisions of Egyptian, Saudi, Kuwaiti, and Syrian armour.
Wow.
Marine Central Command comprises the US 1st and 2nd Marine Divisions, armed with the older M60 tanks, and a brigade from the 2nd Armoured Division. The east flank is another joint command of mechanised Arab forces from Saudi Arabia, Oman, the UAE, Kuwait, Bahrain, Morocco, and Senegal.
I've been to the US base in Bahrain. Massive. Do you know what? We stopped our ship in Bahrain and I went to that US military base. I had a really, really good laptop at the time. And obviously when you're on ship, the ship I was on, we didn't have internet. We could send an email every now and again. That was it. In fact, just when I was leaving the ship, they managed to get a laptop that had like Facebook on for the whole ship. Just one laptop, and it could be used every now and again. That was it. So it was very rare you could have internet. So I was on this military base in Bahrain, and I had a really powerful laptop. So I went into the store and I bought 3 games. I got The Witcher 2, which was sick. God, what else did I get? I think it was Armor 2. I think it was. And I got something else. Shit, what was the other one? I think it was like Crisis 2 or something like that. Was it? But I've got and I remember coming out of the base, the US base in Bahrain, and going to like a coffee shop on that main road. You come out of the base, if anyone's been, the US base, you come out and you take a left and there's quite a few shops there, there's a few coffee shops, and I'd take my laptop and I'd go into a coffee shop, go into the 2nd floor and just sit there on my laptop and play some Witcher. It was sick.
With the Iraqi Air Force neutralised, overwhelming air power can be brought to bear with many hundreds of coalition strike and close air support aircraft, ready to react at a moment's notice. Coalition ground forces number nearly 700,000. The Iraqi military can't boast such firepower. Of the approximately 350,000 Iraqi troops in the region, it is estimated that 140,000 have already deserted, with another 26,000 killed in the ferocious and unhindered bombing leading up to G-Day. The 700,000 coalition troops, with modern tanks and air power, will face roughly 180,000 Iraqis, armed with tanks that mostly date from pre-1980 and with no air power. Even the most modern T-72 tanks have an effective range of just over half that of the Abrams and Challenger tanks they'll be matched against. Saddam has positioned his weakest divisions on the border. His elite Republican Guard divisions are positioned further north, with the Tawakalna division the nearest on the Iraq-Kuwait border. If they're to liberate Kuwait, coalition armour will have to face the Republican Guard in the desert. The coalition war plan is as follows. At 4 a.m. on the 24th of February...
I mean, at the end of the day, they had air superiority, so they were softened up so much, weren't they? Like, by the time... I mean, don't get me wrong, it wasn't easy for these lads in tanks, but it could have been much more difficult, couldn't it?
G-Day, the left and right flanks will advance into enemy territory. On the right flank, Marine Central Command and Joint Forces Command East will carefully carve entry paths through the dense minefields on the Kuwaiti border and engage the enemy beyond.
Wow.
On the left, the Mobile 18 Corps will blitz north. The 101st Airborne will perform a massive helicopter assault to capture an area 155 miles behind enemy lines, named Objective Cobra, hold it, and build a forward operating base, potentially under fire. Meanwhile, the rest of 18 Corps will advance north by land. The French and 82nd Airborne will capture Objective Rochambeau, another supply route near As Salman, and then As Salman Crossroads and Airfield, so that ground supply trucks can reach the 101st further north. On G+1, the Armoured Fist of 7 Corps will advance across the Saddam line and move north. So
for them, it's just a case of absolutely mowing through this line and just keep advancing, basically, isn't it? Like, that's the tactic for sections, the British section here. So the 1st Armored Division and the 1st Cavalry Division of the US. Like, that section, and then this section here, that are Joint Force Command North. They're basically pushing through. Well, no, they're going into Kuwait, aren't they? Okay, so the 1st Cavalry Division, the US Armored Division, them lot in the center here, are basically just pushing all the way through. It's a case of just crack on, isn't it?
+2 on reaching Al Basaya. 7 Corps will wheel right into Kuwait, where they'll face the Republican Guard en masse. The Arab forces on the right flank will have the honour of liberating Kuwait City. At 5:30 a.m. on the 24th of February, the US Marines on the right flank advance across the border. They're immediately met with Iraqi artillery fire. Because they don't have any forward observers or helicopter support, the shells are being fired wildly at the American line, and no hits are scored.
No hits?
To cover their advance, Marine artillery returns fire with 140 artillery pieces and 9 multiple-launch rocket artillery systems. Pairs of Marine jets bomb the enemy positions every 7.5 minutes.
Every 7.5 minutes? Jesus Christ. So they all shot, seeing him come over the border, missed everything, and then just got demolished. Wow.
A deadly display of superior firepower pounds the Iraqi position.
That's insane.
And they very soon crumble for no US loss.
No US loss?
In just 30 minutes, the Marines cover the 12 miles to the edge of the first minefield in Kuwait. 500 engineers...
In just 30 minutes. Easy. 30 minutes done. Quizzes anyone?
...will clear 6 individual tank-width lanes across the minefield. 3 M60 tanks fitted with specialist mine-clearing equipment known as combat engineer vehicles and a Mark 154 mine clearance launcher move to the head of each prospective lane. The Mark 154 launches 3 cables laced with explosive 35 yards into the minefield. The explosive cables are then detonated, thereby detonating any mines beneath to carve a line through the field. After each detonation, the 3 combat engineer vehicles use ploughs and rakes to clear and smooth the route. Within 45 minutes, the first lane will open.
There you go.
Expecting an Iraqi counterattack within hours, none materialises, and Marines and tanks start to stream through the lanes as they open.
So that's it. It was just free reign through the minefield. Holy shit. They really did just level it, didn't they? They really did roll over them.
Meanwhile, on the left flank, 18 Corps have no minefield to contend with and advance into Iraq. The French Daguet are the first to cross with a brigade from 82nd Airborne. They encounter only sporadic enemy artillery fire from scattered elements of the Iraqi 45th Infantry Division, who are dispersed thinly over a wide area to defend the western flank.
Oh my god.
Coalition artillery returns fire.
Here we go.
The American paratroopers transmit a message to their French colleagues. Side by side, French and American soldiers will write a page in history. They roll north slowly and carefully to minimise casualties. To their east, the first wave of 106 helicopters of the 101st Airborne, known as the Screaming Eagle...
Imagine just seeing the horizon and seeing all them helicopters come over with the 101st Airborne. Look how many there are. You're just like chilling, you and the boys in the desert. And then all of a sudden, this just comes over the horizon and just absolutely terrifies you. Wow. That must have been a sight.
Just 10 feet from the ground.
10 feet from the
follow
ground?
A trail of radio beacons dropped by a pair of Apaches and Blackhawks during the night.
Yeah.
The 2 Apaches wait for them at the objective area and engage Iraqi anti-air forces nearby. Lieutenant Colonel Richard Cody is commanding the pair, the same pilot who commanded the flight of Apaches that attacked the radar sites on day 1 of the air war.
Wow.
He was also one of the first to cross the border during the ground invasion. Before cautiously moving forward, the area in front of the French advance is blasted by artillery and airstrikes. Kiowas and French Gazelles attack enemy vehicles ahead of the front line and also guide in A-10 strikes.
Jesus Christ.
This Vietnam-like tactic is repeated with each advance, and so progress is not the blitz-like speed that Schwarzkopf was hoping for. A nasty sandstorm and rain slows progress further. Almost immediately,
That's one thing. Do you know what? You plan like crazy. You try your best to do the best time possible for some sort of exercise. The one variable that always, I mean, there's a couple of variables, isn't there? Weapon stoppages and all that lot, but as a whole, the one big variable is weather. From the dawn of time, weather. From the 100-year war with Henry V going into France to fight and finding the field swamped and using it to their advantage. Weather is always a variable. And always a variable that can change at any moment, isn't it? And so for this to happen here, it's a shame, isn't it, really?
after engagement, encountered Iraqi forces begin to surrender. These are Saddam's weakest divisions. They're malnourished and not interested in fighting. Processing 2,000 surrendered troops slows progress even further. The French and American force continues to crawl forward. The first of the Screaming Eagles disembarked from their helicopters a mile south of Objective Cobra at 8 AM. They roll 105mm howitzers out the back of the Chinooks and immediately start lobbing artillery shells at the defenders.
Whoa.
F-16s and A-10s arrive overhead to help the Apaches hammer enemy bunkers, tanks and vehicles. Under relentless aerial bombardment, 300 Iraqis surrender just 1 hour after the first boots landed.
Just 1 hour. 1 hour. My God.
Wave after wave of helicopters stream into Objective Cobra over the next few hours, bringing more troops, artillery, Humvees armed with wire-guided anti-tank weapons, enormous underslung rubber sacks containing a total of 1 million gallons of fuel, food, water and ammunition. There's
the logistics. At the end of the day, you have this amount of people pushing into this area. The logistics is going to be... If you always think about how difficult it is to get all these individuals into one space, right? The idea of sorting them out logistically is 10 times harder than just getting them individuals there. Water, food, toiletries, medical kit, the whole shebang, comms gear, extra batteries, extra ammo, extra weapons, spare weapon parts, vehicle spare parts, all these things, gas. If you think about getting 10 lads, how hard it is to get 10 lads on the ground, it'll be 100 times harder than that. So can you imagine how big this is and how much of a logistical complication it must have been? Wow.
The Humvees set up a defensive perimeter while the base is constructed. To the south, the French and 82nd arrive at the area of land known as Objective Rochambeau. At midday, having met almost no opposition, but sporadic artillery and mortar fire en route. French helicopters move in from the west and destroy 12 bunkers.
French helicopters coming from the west and instantly surrender. No, I'm joking. I've got to say something about the French. I'm British. I've got to say something, Anna.
Tank, 5 armoured personnel carriers and 8 trucks. Another pounding by artillery precedes the armoured assault on the objective, provoking another mass surrender by the defending Iraqi troops without engagement.
One thing I wish this video would do is I wish it would give us a tally of casualties on both injuries, fatalities on both sides. It looks like the US and Allied forces haven't received any, but I'm sure there's been some complications of some sort. We've got roughly, he said 300 surrenders here. There was another 200-300 in that other place. We must be talking close to 1,000 surrenders now, right?
The time is 2:30 PM. And the French and Americans have moved into Iraq and taken their first objective, overwhelming all opposition immediately, accepting 3,500 surrenders and losing only 2 soldiers. Schwarzkopf...
Losing only 2 soldiers. It might give us a tally at the very end, but it's not looking like there's many casualties or injuries in the Allied forces.
...is unhappy that this walkover wasn't performed fast enough, and demands that the advance on As Salman is sped up. It's a similar situation on the right flank. M60 tanks and Marines are now through the first and second layer of minefields.
So they got through easy.
Artillery continues to batter enemy...
I do have a lot of questions about the minefields as well. How much equipment went bust or whatever. This is obviously not... It doesn't look like it's going to get into stats like that. But overall, visually, it's absolutely incredible, this, isn't it?
Positions, including aircraft-directed counterfire against enemy artillery pieces. A captured Iraqi colonel describes the dispositions of his remaining forces. The minefield itself claims 9 tanks, but no Marines killed.
9 tanks. So it claims 9 tanks, which is a decent amount, actually, isn't it? But no Marines killed whatsoever. Absolutely fantastic. I'd much rather 9 tanks get demolished than we only lose 1 tank and we lose an individual. Do you know what I mean? Much rather that happen.
On the left flank, a convoy of Marine vehicles is attacked from behind by M60 tanks in a friendly fire incident.
Oh, no, friendly
With
fire?
55 rounds fired, 2 trucks and an assault vehicle are destroyed.
Holy
killing
crap.
1 Marine. A
Oh my
strange case
God.
of luck that the tank gunnery was so poor in this case.
That's
To
such
the
a
east of the
shame.
Marines, the Arab forces of Joint Forces Command East are also through both minefields and have also met little opposition and mass surrenders. The Iraqi forces in this area are of similarly poor quality to those facing 18 Corps, made up mostly of enforced conscripts who don't want to be there.
Let me see if we can get a... Let me see if I can Google Day 1 Desert Storm deaths. Let's have a look. Well, no exact single-day death toll for the first day of Operation Desert Storm is specifically reported. In the initial 24-hour period was part of a larger air campaign which saw coalition aircraft target Iraqi air defenses during the entire war. Estimated Iraqi military deaths were between 20,000 and 35,000, while total coalition deaths were around 392. So there were a significant amount of lads on the Allied forces that unfortunately died.
Especially given that they've been thrown into such a hopeless situation against such a superior enemy. The ease and speed of the Marines' advance presents a problem for Schwarzkopf. Even before midday on G-Day, he estimates that his right flank is 8 hours ahead of schedule.
Wow.
The Egyptians
8 hours
of
ahead?
Joint Forces Command North on the Marines' left and the armour of 7 Corps further west are not scheduled to cross the border until the next day, G+1. However, the speed and depth of the Marines' advance has left their left flank vulnerable to attack, or
Might as well
worse
crack on then,
envelopment,
aren't they?
by Iraqi armoured divisions just west of them. Schwarzkopf makes the bold decision to move the central assault forward to today at 3 PM, just 2 hours away and 15 hours ahead of schedule.
Oh, can you imagine the nerves of the boys when they hear that? By the way, you've been moved a day ahead. Pack your stuff, you're going in. That's nervous times. But at the end of the day, they would have been hearing the success of the other teams anyway. So they'd be like, "Yeah, let's go, let's get it done." In fact, if you were one of them lads sat in these like First Cavalry Division or the First Armory Division, and you're hearing about all the other lads going on and getting around, you're probably gonna want to crack on, aren't you? You're not gonna want to wait a whole day before you can go out.
British 1st Armoured Division rushes to join the rest of 7 Corps on the front line from their staging area 60 miles behind the line.
Of course they did. They didn't want to miss out,
The
did they?
last-minute time change carries logistical risks, but the enemy is weaker than anticipated,
Yeah.
and the advantage needs pressing. Scout helicopters begin to move into enemy territory to spot Iraqi units. Across the front line from 7 Corps, 2 brigades of the Iraqi 26th Infantry Division have set up defensive positions in the shape of a triangle, looking down a slope towards the line, with mortars and towed artillery to the rear.
Not a vibe.
Similarly entrenched, the 31st, 46th and 48th Infantry Divisions lie in wait northeast of them. They occupy a system of defensive fortifications, trenches, bunkers, minefields and barbed wire known as the Saddam Line.
The Saddam
At
line.
2:30 PM, 30 minutes before the breach is to begin, the most ferocious artillery barrage in recent history is unleashed against Iraqi positions. 13 artillery
Trying to watch this and Steph's waving at me. What were you trying to say, Steph? What laminating sheets? You can come round and get them. And then you're also going to say to everyone on camera, hi, and why they should go over to the Drink Morale YouTube channel. You don't want to do it? Hold on, everyone. Let me just pause the whole internet, the whole video. Everyone wait. Are they in here? Is this what you need? Unbelievable stuff. Unbelievable. Don't you mind me. Don't you mind.
Artillery battalions fire 11,000 rounds.
She was just stood behind the camera, just like waiting for me to acknowledge. I was like trying my hardest to ignore it. Okay, let me go back and hear some of this.
This artillery barrage in recent history is unleashed against Iraqi positions. 13 artillery battalions fire 11,000 rounds. Multiple launch rocket systems also open fire, launching rockets that travel to and dispense 650 bomblets over the target area. 10 batteries
650 bomblets? What does it mean by that?
devastate the Iraqi lines with 650,000 bomblets.
Does it just mean bombs? What's a bomblet? I'm presuming it just mean bombs, right? Bomblets are a small ammunition released from a larger cluster of bombs. Oh, like a cluster bomb. Is that what it means? Huh.
The bombardment lasts until 3 p.m. and 7 Corps crosses the line into enemy territory. The 334 Abrams and 224 Bradleys of the 1st Infantry Division
334 Abrams and 224 Bradleys. Oh my god. That is absolutely absurd. What did they think the resistance was going to be? Nothing. Even today, nothing would be able to come up against that. Like, who did they think? I mean, I guess at the time they were the 4th biggest army in the world. By the end of day one, probably like the 4th smallest army. Christ.
are the first to engage, firing fearsome volleys of rounds into the Iraqi trenches and bunker positions. For the first time, the defenders don't surrender and return fire with tanks, artillery, anti-tank guns, small arms and RPGs.
Oh wow, okay.
Albeit disorganized and inaccurate.
So this part here looks like probably the most aggressive resistance they've seen so far. Obviously, this video's not ended yet, and we have day 2, part 2 of day 1. Is it part? Day 2, I'm pretty sure. So it could get much worse.
2nd Armoured Cavalry lead the left flank's advance and meet similar resistance deeper in Iraq. Under fire, combat engineers hastily clear lanes across the thin minefield, and vehicles of the 1st Infantry move across. On reaching the Iraqi trenches, the Bradley infantry fighting vehicles don't dismount their infantry to clear them. Instead, armoured bulldozers turn left and right and move up the edge of the trenches, using ploughs to push the piled up sand and dirt back into the trenches, filling them in. This tactic is controversial because 150 Iraqis who don't surrender are buried alive.
Whoa. They're buried alive? Holy shit. Didn't expect that.
By sunset, the 1st Infantry have broken through the Saddam line in multiple places, capturing 550 troops for only 2 casualties. With safe lanes marked through the line, the armoured divisions begin to move up to the front, ready to begin their mighty punch into Iraq and Kuwait. While Schwarzkopf is happy with the almost unbelievable lack of casualties sustained on day 1, he is unhappy with the slow speed with which the French have advanced in the west.
Of course, classic French, taking the time. They're probably sat there eating a baguette, some sort of croissant. That's what they were probably doing. Get your ass moving, lads. Come on.
7 Corps in the centre. The rain and sandstorms have certainly slowed progress, but the common...
Can I say that? I say it. I love France. I fucking love France so much, and the French history is phenomenal. I'm having a bit of banter. All right? Because listen, I could do it about America, but this video isn't the best to do banter on at America. If I do a British versus American video, you better get ready for some American name calling. All right?
The theme across the whole front is that the weak and unmotivated conscript divisions on the front line are surrendering in such high numbers that it is taking time to process them.
Yeah, I bet.
But the invasion as a whole is still hours ahead of schedule, and most importantly, Many of the Coalition's armoured divisions will be across or crossing the minefields and the Saddam line during the morning of Day 2.
Crazy the
The
speed.
ground war of Desert Storm has got off to a near-perfect start, but in Day 2, the Coalition will face motivated and armoured Iraqi opposition, including the respected Republican Guard.
Wow, okay. Let me know if you think I should watch Day 2. That was a phenomenal video by the Operations Room. Head over there, check it out. Genuinely really, really good. I love that, and I love their animations and the way that they depict where people are. This here, actually, let me show you this. When Marines rode on an Apache to save a comrade in operations, I'm pretty sure this is about the Royal Marines, and if that's the case, yeah, a Royal Marine is missing. I'm almost certain that it was Zulu Company that did it, which was the company I was in, but it was before, obviously, I joined.
Gunners, a peacekeeping force called ISAF. This force would be asked to conduct.
But yeah, we maybe can watch that another time. But yeah, I'll leave a link down below to the original video. Absolutely fantastic. Go over to the Operation Room, give them some love if you haven't already. Check out Choke, 10% off, link down below, and check out Morale. Both links here, and go to the subscribe button down below. You'll see both channels. Go and do it. It'd be well worth your while. Until next time, I love you all. Have a wonderful day. Goodbye.